It is post time, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Louisville, Kentucky side of the 6th annual Derby City Classic. What an exciting week it's been so far, and I'm sure we're in for an exciting match today. We got Scott Frost and also Glenn Rogers, known as Piggy Bank. My name is Derrick Keith, alongside my partner, instructor player Mark, the St. Louis shooter Wilson. I am so excited. Mark, give us a rundown of what we should expect.
Well, we're going to have a clash of two of the most dynamic, flamboyant bank pool players in the world. We got Scott Frost, and this guy is pure flash. I mean, it's wide open offense with him. And then we have Piggy Banks, perhaps the best bank pool player in the tournament today, and perhaps one of the best bank pool players that the world has ever known.
Yeah, we got about 380 players in this bank pool competition. I was watching these guys warm up. I have a feeling it could be a very fast match, watching how good they can bank and how good they play.
And then they both play very fast as well, so it'll be very entertaining. Scott Frost set the break, and he has a powerhouse break. Breaking from the side. He'll be attempting to pocket the 4-ball in the corner pocket as well as the 1 on the side. Hit the rack square. The 8-ball drifted into the back corner pocket.
The 4 just rattled, as you said. He was trying to hit that 4 in the corner. And it looks like he has a pretty good break and a few good options to begin, Mark.
Yeah, he's got probably the 9-ball is the easiest bank shot cross corner, but the 7-ball's laying down there as well. And he will choose the one that offers the best opportunity to gain position on the subsequent bank.
If you could briefly, we'll describe to any of the viewers how bank pool works, what's the rules, everything like that.
Bank pool is a call shot game. He's called the 7 cross corner, and it's going to drift just a little bit high, and that's not the kind of shot that he wants to miss and leave for the likes of Piggy Bank.
Piggy Bank, he's from Chicago, Illinois, right?
That's right. That's right. And Scott made a ball on the break. He needs to spot that back up, and Piggy's left with a golden opportunity to score here. He has a 3 cross corner if he chooses to shoot, or the 4 cross side. These tables are running just a little bit short right now. The cloth's starting to get broke in. We're going to possibly see some balls hang up from the additional friction of the cloth break in.
Right. Now, this is the final day of bank pool, right? So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Only the best are left now.
That's right. And right now, they haven't even spotted up the ball that was made on the break. There we go. Yeah. Piggy's a very experienced bank pool player, and he will know the score at all times. On a foul, you have to return a ball to the table. You lose a ball. Anything that you make on that shot as well will have to come up. And he's going to play the 3-ball cross corner. Not quite as easy as the 4-ball cross side, but certainly offers a lot more offensive opportunities
after that.
That's right. This guy has a powerful stroke. Left-handed player, Chicago, Illinois.
Wow, he did blast that one right in. Now, they call him Piggy Bank. Is that all he plays, Mark, or does he play 9-ball as well?
Well, he plays all games, but he has an excellence in this game. He has an affinity, a certain special genius or talent, and he's a class act, this guy. He's known to play at Red Shoes Billiards up there, as well as Seymour's Billiards, and he's a teaching pro there.
What is he going to do here, Mark?
Cross corner on the 9. See how he rifles it in there, makes use of the end rail a little bit. See how it wiggled a little bit, Derek? He gave himself every opportunity. That's a run of 2 so far, and he's looking at that 4-ball. He will gobble this 4-ball up for lunch. I mean, this isn't even a light snack for Mr. Piggy Banks.
This is very exciting watching. Like I said, I was watching these guys warming up, and just amazing. They were just rifling in the shots one after the other. And,
you know, as far as education for people out there aspiring to be better bankers, you notice these guys use a lot of pace on the balls. That allows the rubber to rebound more uniformly. It's much easier to gauge the response from table to table and day to day during the varying conditions that you encounter.
And like you said at the beginning of this tournament, this table is a little bit more forgiving now. It's tightening up a little bit, and then when we get to the 9-ball later this week, I'm sure it's going to be you got to hit center of the pocket, or it could rattle.
These are small pockets to begin with. Look at that speed shot. He had to go with a very soft speed to allow the ball to open up off the rail. And
now, what has he left Scott Frost here with?
Scott is left with a couple options here. He has the straight back to his right on the 5-ball, the orange ball, or he could play the ball down here on the spot that he made on the break. And he's going to size up. There's not a whole lot of defense, and especially when the balls are distributed like this, you're going to choose the shot that offers the best offensive opportunity to continue a run.
Now, we know they both play great bank pool. Who would you give the advantage to early on in the match?
Oh, I would say from the experience level, I'd have to say that Piggy Bank has the edge. Scott chose a soft speed shot, and those don't play well. although it would have gone had he hit it hard enough.
Oh, I thought it was going to go, Mark. I was like, well, you spoke too soon, but you were right. It just didn't go. But
And most of your top bank pool players will never leave one short.
Right, your results
just
on,
hardly ever. They have a little bit more pace about them. You'll see as the match unfolds here what I'm talking about with the speed regarding each bank.
now, Mark, you said you were talking to Piggy Banks before the match, and some big-time stuff's been going on in his family. Tell us a little bit about that.
He had a real unfortunate death. His father passed away 2 weeks ago, and he said that he would like to dedicate this match to Henry Rogers, as well as his son, Nicholas Rogers.
Number 7, out of there, Johnny.
Well, he's gotten off to a good start so far. He's all a little bit short there on the 7 ball.
But that was a little bit of a defensive mindset there. He was just going to give it a lag towards the side pocket, but mainly with attention towards keeping the cue ball on the rail and a long ways away from the object ball.
You're right, Mark. I don't see really any easy shot here. No shot is easy, especially in bank pool, but what is he looking at now? What would you be looking at if you were at the table?
I would seriously consider maybe moving the 7 ball down table and bringing the cue ball back on the end of the table that he's playing from, just to not leave this great offensive juggernaut that Piggy Banks is with anything routine. Now here's perhaps a little bit ill-conceived. I mean, that was a shot that didn't even have a chance, as you can see by the way it was struck. And when you play a shot, you like to give yourself some sort of chance to score, simply based on here's a relatively routine cross-side bank for
Kind
the
of
likes
all
of
based
Piggy
on
Bank.
percentages, basically.
Right,
what your percentage
right.
is.
And this is an 85% shot for this guy. Strike
And the 15%. 15% came up, but that's how it is.
And he had position for the 2 ball. Should he have made it? Now
What percentage
Scott.
is this, Mark, so I can make a bet?
Oh, that was the lower percentage one by far. Frosty's still trying to unwind. Uncork. Now this is a circumstance that we might see a shot played. There's nothing easy offensively, so we might see Piggy Bank, Glenn Rogers, pocket the 8 ball, return it to the spot, and leave the cue ball on the cushion down table. And he will figure the exact place that he does not, or that he finds that would be the most disadvantageous for Scott to have to play.
Could
So
he just hit the 8 in here and leave the cue ball in the pocket?
But he's still looking to keep the cue ball on the rail, and he's looking to make sure. I mean, he's trying to do even more than that. It's not just to knock it in and stop it. I mean, he's looking for the exact angle and get the cue ball on the rail to maximize that opportunity.
And that's probably the difference in my play and your the players that you play with, Mark.
Yeah, with pro-level play, they maximize each and every opportunity at the table and get the most out of it. Now, what great speed Scott Frost did, and that would portend into his one-pocket excellence. He's very good at lagging balls like that and getting the cue ball to travel down the
control.
table. And the idea of leaving the cue ball on the rail is it greatly hampers the accuracy with your tip to the cue ball, as well as it impedes you from hitting the cue ball wherever you want and with power. Here was just a pure defensive shot. And that's the aspect of the game that Scott would probably be favored in, the moving of the balls around the table.
The defensive play where Piggy Banks is all out offense.
Not all out. I mean, he understands the defensive play, but he doesn't probably have the mastery over that he does his offensive game, where Frosty's a little bit more defensive oriented from his one pocket play.
Looks like he's calling a 6 back in the corner to his right.
And look at the speed that he used. This was an offensive shot with defense built in. He was just playing a 1-ball circumstance. He was not going to sell out the game from a difficult
right. And like we were
back.
talking about, where if I was playing, I would just be going for the offense and not thinking where the cue ball is going.
Now here's a shot that a great bank pool player can make, and just a regular 9-ball player would have a terrible time making. He hit it pretty well. When the great bank pool player faces an object ball that's on the spot, whether it be up and down the table or cross side, they're very proficient at that.
And you would say maybe above a 50% chance.
Well, not on one of that nature where it's on the rail longer, but cross side, yes, above a 50% chance.
He's calling the 5 in the
No, the 2-ball.
or the 2-ball corner to his right, I guess.
Right, the 5 is laying just a little bit too low. And this would be not a real hard speed because then he wanted to keep the cue ball on this end of the table. Right down in here with the other balls, they call that the bank and patch. You get in the bank and patch with the speed that Glenn Rogers plays, and he'll go 5 and out on you in a heartbeat.
I got to say, I've been a little surprised. They started very quickly, and disagree with me if I'm wrong, Mark, but I've seen a few missed shots that I thought they would make.
Well, these tables banking a little short, and it's that tough of a game. Right now, Glenn Rogers leads in the game, 3-0. In this race to 3, there he's made his on the hill ball, bank number 4, and he's lined up a little bit awkwardly on the 4, so he may have to play either the 1 ball cross corner or the 6 ball cross side. I can't tell from this vantage point as to what he has, but I know that his shot selection's impeccable, so whatever he chooses is the right shot. Looks like it's going to be the 4. And look at the speed that he used in the downward hit on the cue ball to drag the cue ball down table to assure not leaving Scott in the banking patch.
Boy, what a nice facility this is. This is actually my first trip to the Derby City Classic, and I guess they're trying to relive the old memories of Johnson City, Mark, and I know you've attended there before, right?
No, that was a little bit before my time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and but everybody that talks about it speaks of it with great reverence as one of the greatest tournaments of all time, and Greg Sullivan, the Diamond Table owner, has tried to preserve that history. And every year we've come down here, it's gotten better. 380-some players in this tournament.
Yeah, and then they only expect more on the 9 ball, I guess, maybe up to 600 or so, huh?
Piggy Bank with a 5 ball cross side, and he struck it well. Look at that, 5-0 win.
Wow,
very impressive. Very impressive. There was a couple misses in there, but everybody misses in this bank pool tournament. Even if you sell out a shot, they don't have to make it. Bank shots are that difficult.
And they're racking with the Sardo or tight rack. And who's that gentleman racking, Mark? You said he took you out to dinner the other night.
Carmen Sardo.
And you're supposed to mention him a few times, and maybe he'll buy again.
I don't have to mention him. This is a nice man, and he's made a terrific tool. Everything else with regards to the equipment in pool has been updated. The tables are better, the rubber's better, the cues are better, the players are better, and then we've been playing with the old wooden triangle. And there was always some question as to whether the racker could manipulate the rack to one player's advantage over the other, and this eliminates any kind of it creates complete parity with the rack, and that's what I really think is the strength of the thing. Pretty good break, but was not fortunate with the ball going into the pocket, and now Scott comes to the table with a pretty darn good offensive opportunity.
So you get to try the 1 ball cross corner?
That shot has a double kiss in it, and so he'll have to use a little bit of draw if he chooses to. I think the 7 ball would be a better advised shot, and it's a little bit borderline. He's going to pick the one that probably has the best offensive possibilities long term.
Just to get going.
But you definitely need to make a bank from here. Kind of reassert yourself in the match. Fell a little short. The speed brought it in short. The harder you hit it, the sharper it rebounds from the rail.
And it looks like he's getting a little frustrating. And it can get frustrating because you just missed by a centimeter. It could be all over. And it's only a race to 3. These short races are. What are we looking at here?
Well, he looked at the 9 ball, and he's sizing up now, not whether he's going to play the 9 ball or not. He wants to see where he wants to get the cue ball to for position. The 9 ball is a certainty. That's what the shot's going to be. He's pretty well straight in on that. Not making light of it. It's certainly not an easy shot, but if he thinks this, he's played position for another cross corner on the 8, I would say. Usually you want to choose a ball that the cue ball's close to. It's easier to obtain your accuracy. So mostly you want to play from the ball that's the closest to you. You hit that with nice speed, didn't it?
Yeah, we're getting the show now. Now, Mark, you're an instructor, and you're writing a book, and you also write in Billiards Digest every month. If you could give some of the beginning players some tips.
Well, I'll tell you, for anybody listening that wants to improve their pool game, these videotapes are one of the best tools that you could obtain. It's like you're playing with the great champions all the time, and you kind of get involved in just how much precision they take and how much care they take with each and every shot. And that's an important thing to implement in your game that you will not get playing just the regular Joe Schmoes at the pool room that tend to be general and carefree. And so that's one way to develop your game as well as keep yourself entertained.
Pretty good safety shot there, would you say, Mark?
Oh, terrific. Yeah, you got the cue ball back. Now Piggy's going to jack up and spike down. And I think he'll use a little right-hand English to bring the cue ball back down table. No, he didn't bother with that.
Wow, what a great shot that was.
Tremendous.
From nowhere, right back. He leads in the match 3-0.
You know, when you elevate the cue like Piggy did there, that multiplies the difficulty, not twofold, but maybe 3 or 4-fold in terms of being accurate, because you have to shoot down through all those planes. And that's why when anytime you hear about instructional material, it's always regarding keep your cue level for maximum accuracy. Now he's got another downward dip. This will be struck firmly.
I just heard a match they announced here. Johnny Archer and Earl Strickland.
Oh, what
and I mean, I'm telling you, the best players in the entire world are all here this weekend. And it's very exciting. I mean, they play all night long. I got in at 5 in the morning. They were playing. Great bank there.
Scott Frost finally on the scoreboard. He trailed in the match 3-0, and now he's made his first bank. And that was a one-pocket shot that he figures to excel at in this match. That rolling across the end rail like that.
And sometimes that's what you need to get going, just that first shot to loosen you up a little bit and get you moving. 3-1 now in this game, game number 2.
Another terrific defensive shot. Look at the speed.
Wow.
From 9 feet away, he was able to lay it within a ball's width on the end rail. And this is the only way you can possibly hope to slow down a man that possesses the skills of a Piggy Banks.
Yeah. The last time he fired it in from there, Mark, and but that's all you can do is just do your best. But, you know, we were talking about these videos and how they help your game. I think with me, when I watch them, it just makes me want to play, and I'm so much more interested when I go to the pool room because I want to play as good as them, and I just get motivated and very excited to go to the pool room. I think that's one of the biggest things with me, and you get to see some of the best players, and they got matches from, I mean, from anybody really that you want. And last night they had a big ring game going on, right, with some of the best players that you can order.
Tremendous ring game. Look at this straight back with a defensive aspect. Yeah, the ring game tapes are really interesting because there's no effort put towards defensive pool, so you get to see the best players bring all their stuff, show your best offensive explosions, and it came down to the 2 best players again last night. Both nights.
Who was all in the ring game last night? And that's all on ACCUSTATS video that they can order.
Is. It's complete, unedited. You have professional pool player commentary, and it's very educational as well as entertaining. And they played for a pretty good sum of money. They played $30,000.
Yeah. Wow, and who was the big winner out of that?
Last night we had Johnny Archer come back and beat Jose Barica. It was really something. Reyes was in it. The night before they had one with Strickland and Duel.
Now it looks like he's left him some open banks here.
Yes, Piggy, that's what I'm saying. His defensive game, or his he may leave some open innings, but his offensive game makes up for a couple possible defensive errors.
He's come short again.
Yeah, the balls are tending to bank short. You can really see that. A player like Piggy Banks, he's so used to playing in so many different conditions, it will take him much less time to adjust to that than it will someone that's not just solely bank pool oriented. Those cross sides like that where he passes the cue ball in front, he just loves those. I mean, he just will hardly ever miss one of those, especially when the table's running short. Here's his out ball. He's going to try to pass in front of this cross corner 2 ball.
Well, he has about a half pocket to work with, isn't he, here?
And look at the speed that he hit that with. Look at the speed.
Wow.
Beautiful. At that speed, if it does graze the rail, it doesn't tend to bound away, but rather works its way on down into the pocket.
So Piggy Banks leads the match 2 games to none in a race to 3.
Grady Matthews.
And you got to think Scotty Frost has got to start making a move, Mark.
Well, he's going to have to try to create some offense and throw caution to the wind. Forget the defensive pool. He's got to come up with some firepower here.
Now, what type of cues are these guys playing with?
Both of them represent cognoscenti cues. Scott Frost has been so for a long time, and Piggy Banks is a relative newcomer. Cognoscenti, a cue made in Chicago, and it's a state-of-the-art pool cue. Joey Gold makes them, and I just can't say enough good things about him. He's cut the metal out of them. They're all G10 glass epoxy pins, which I believe in. Performance characteristics-wise, they're fairly expensive. And if he ever makes one that has the autopilot option on there, I'm sure going to spend the money and get one.
Yeah. I think for some reason that would start malfunctioning with me, Mark.
Piggy Banks makes a ball on the break, and now we're going to see a passing cross-corner 3-ball, cross-side 3-ball, excuse me, red ball, 1 cushion. How'd he hit it?
Wow.
Hit it pretty well. Hit it pretty well. Now Frosty comes up to the table, and boy, once again, he didn't have a great offensive shot. You don't see much easy here, and he's going to have to really do some deep creating to even make a bank. I think he's faced with a predicament.
Is there any way that he can play safety here? Or
well, with the scattering
so
of the
many
balls,
right?
yeah, it's awfully difficult.
And he's also in a position down 2 games to none that he really has to make something happen to get back in the match. But like you alluded to the match before, with these caliber of players, you can really get right back in the match with a few good opportunities at the table.
And it's hard to tell exactly the angle. You're not the player on the table and what you want to do, but it appears like the 7 ball he could make an extreme cut on and bank it back past the 4 in the corner pocket. He just chose to go with a straightaway safety, which is probably as good an option as any, and he executed that quite well. That was the best option. Best shot decision.
We were speaking of some of the best bank pool players in the world. They're all here, and if you could name the top 3, who do you think it would be?
Well, certainly Piggy Banks is right there, and then I would say Shannon Dalton is number 2 and Nick Varner number 3. I mean, you could rearrange them however you want.
Right.
Those are your Truman Hogue is one. He's a little bit older now.
Efren Reyes, Tony Coleman, table number 21. Efren Reyes and Tony Coleman, number
Piggy Banks
21.
looking at a safety play here, I believe.
The table is Slivka and Dana Perry. Gerald Slivka and Dana Perry next to the table.
Wow, we're just informed that last year at this tournament, Truman Hogue ran 13 straight banks, which is perhaps the Derby City Classic tournament record. Look at this shot. He was playing that 1 cushion. Now, Scott has a 4-ball cross side, and if he can make this, cue ball should be lined up in for a good run of banks here. Can't be too careful playing position with this. He needs to make that ball.
They made a great bank there.
And he wasn't too concerned with position, as you can see. He just
but he got
bore down and made the bank that he needed to make. Cross corner 1 ball. It's a 1 pocket passing shot. He hit it pretty well.
Looks like
Hit
it
it pretty
will
well.
fall.
And now he is right down in the banking patch, Derek.
That's what we call the banking patch.
Right down here where the balls tend to congregate right around the rack.
Something I'm a little interested in, and maybe some of the listeners are these players, do they gamble much? Because I know the Derby City is about a lot of gambling. When you walk in, it says, what does it say, Mark?
There's a sign out there that says no gambling.
That's what I like.
Means there's going to be action here. You remember you used to have an action stool in your house? And,
yeah, if you sat on the stool, you must bet cash, Mark.
And I sat on it a couple times. It seemed to malfunction. There wasn't really much for getting played there, Derek, but perhaps we could look into that and get that rectified.
Didn't have enough money, Mark. You got to bring
Oh, real cash.
real cash. That's right, not Monopoly money.
Cash isn't that heavy, so I should carry some. Is that the idea?
Pocket action, 5 at 5.
Looks like you elected to play the safety there.
Frost leads 2-0 in this must-win game. This is do or die. He has to win right here.
Heard every word you said.
Now, two balls to nothing is not a big lead with players of this stature that could possibly run 5 and out. I know I mentioned that earlier and you haven't seen it yet, but believe me, it happens quite a bit. You'll see a lot of 3, 4s, and 5s. These are very short matches, however, so sometimes it takes a little while to get unwound. Just a pure defensive shot. Just moving the balls to the other end of the table and get the cue ball back here on the end rail. And while we have a minute, Piggy, while he's deciding the shot, I'd like to mention that the rights for any rebroadcast, reproduction, or use of any portion of this audio and video is prohibited by law and is forbidden unless the express written consent is given by ACCUSTATS Video Productions.
That was good, Mark.
We always have to squeeze that in and take care of our entities here.
Dana Perry, Gerald Slivka, table number 19.
What's he looking at?
Well, he's looking at crossing that 6 ball and bringing it straight back, and that's or else it's a defensive shot. Yep, pure defense. And now see how he's left the cue ball on one to the table and all the object balls in the other.
And a lot of cluttering of the balls, it looks like, in the bottom right corner.
This is a pretty good straight back, though, a reasonable opportunity, and I would say this is at least a 50-50 shot with a big reward if he makes it.
Well, he made it.
And look at the reward right there on the 7. The 7's not in the double kiss zone. He should be pretty good.
The 3 won't hamper the 7?
It doesn't look like it. I think there's enough room. It does look tight, though. It's very intricate. He's looking at it himself. He's a
This is a huge shot because he leads 3-0, 3 balls to nothing in this game, and he needs it to stay alive in the match.
This is a sensitive shot. Should you choose to tighten up the angle, which means to shorten it by using left English on the cue ball, and then given the way the balls are responding a little bit short, you could over-shorten this one. There's enough room there, though. Oh, how'd he hit it?
Real good shot.
How'd he hit it? Beautiful. And now he's confronted with yet another. And this is this would be his out ball here. If he
Right, we
this.
could have all 3 games of 5-0.
And this is a very manageable one
shot, I would
pocket.
say.
Yep. And he's out.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
that's 2 games to 1. Very impressive.
And like I said, all 3 games have been 5-0 wins.
Oh, let's see. Was it, or was there a 5-1? Maybe it was 5-0. Yeah, I lost track. All 5-0 wins. It is interesting. Well, we're here in Louisville, Kentucky, and that's the heart of horse country, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
And all these
Kentucky
players
Derby.
got their stake horses here, and the stake horses got their horses in the stable, and they're all pool players, all good ones. This has quite an economic impact on the city here as well.
You said you were talking to the folks in the bar last night, along with Bojangles and the folks here at the hotel said they've been excited about this for weeks because they knew how many people's going to show up. I mean, they come from everywhere, all across the USA and Canada too, and Philippines, everywhere.
Germany, yeah, we got them from all over the world here, and yeah, this is something. They said it's been a slow winter, and they were really looking forward to having the pool players there. Frost has made a ball on the break, but he's confronted with yet another defensive possibility. No, I think he's going to bank the 5 ball straight back. No, he's playing defense. He had the offensive shot.
I have noticed that he does like a lot of defense, and the last game it paid off for him. Got a few opportunities.
And that might have been a good decision. He could have played the 5 ball, but the risk versus how difficult the shot was, in his risk-reward analysis, suggested that perhaps it'd be better served to play safe. You've got to try to defang somebody like this by not letting them have great offensive opportunities, because once the Piggy Banks gets on a roll, as we've already witnessed in just a little bit we've watched, it's hard to stop him. It's like a locomotive coming down the train.
Defang, huh, Mark?
Defang. Here's a straight back into a double kiss. He was trying to
could
play
be
that one
problems
rail.
here.
And look where the cue ball's at, Derek. That's,
I don't know if he planned it that way. Did it?
Definitely not. No, definitely not. Got kind of fortunate to leave it as tough as he did. Don't be completely surprised to see 4 ball straight back, because this will leave the cue ball at the opposite end of the table should he miss. And this will be a softer speed type of shot. Can't try to do too much with that. And that was the second time that he's hit one too soft, but that was by design, and that was a
to
good
get that
judgment.
cue ball on that end rail.
That was good judgment. That's too hard of a shot to take that on as a pure offensive.
Boy, time and time again during this match, we've seen how good Scott Frost's speed control is with the cue ball. And how would a person practice that? Just a lot of play, or is there any certain things that you could do in the pool room to practice that?
Okay.
Well, I'll address that in just a moment. Here's a defensive shot, too. No, he's able to play it. Good Lord. Ooh, shot of the day right there. He overcut that ball from 9 feet away, and it was only 6 inches off the rail. Hard to overcut that without scratching. The way you practice your speed control, and this may surprise many of the listeners, the problem is not in your judgment. It's the fact that your stroke does not repeat exactly. So you vary your delivery system just minutely, and it never allows your brain to ever really hone in and get the good sense of speed that is brought about by consistency.
He's
Piggy
calling.
Banks. Is that the 3 ball or the 2 ball? I guess it'd be the 3 ball he's shooting at, yeah. Straight back to his left. Long rail bank.
Ooh, just rattled it.
And you notice he chose to use draw on the cue ball to leave the cue ball away from the banking patch if he could.
Playing on beautiful Simonis cloth, right, Mark?
This is Simonis cloth, 860, yeah.
Their cloth is sure nice, but their sign isn't doing as well.
Oh, no, the sign's falling down, I see. But that gives it a little attention. If they're all uniform there, then no one would notice one from the other. This distinguishes them. It is really a tremendous product.
Yeah, and boy, what an awesome setup they have here. I mean, like you said, it's just gotten better and better every year. And first year I've been here, and man, just makes me want to go play some pool.
Yeah, it's very impressive. The owner of this, Greg Sullivan, deserves all the accolades that we can possibly give him. He's he's unlike a lot of other companies. They say they're player-oriented. This guy puts his money where his mouth is, and he really is a player and puts the players first. You have to admire him for it because they will try your patience. Cross side, 3 ball. How do you like that shot?
Yeah, the crowd really likes it. They're reacting, and as they should. Man, what a great shot. And now what has he got? He's got a few.
He's got the 5 ball cross side, and he could be off and running. Top spin.
Wow.
Oh, hit that beautiful, didn't he? You notice the cue ball appears to have measles on it. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Well, I have noticed that. What in the world is that?
Well, that helps to distinguish for the viewers the volumes of spin that's imparted on the cue ball, and you can see it a little bit more dramatically. So, no, the cue ball is not defective. He does not have a disease. Right here's his out shot here,
and he'll win the match here.
I'll tell you what, the look on his face would suggest that ball's already in the pocket. This will be one of those 2 hoppers and in.
Wow!
Kaboom! Piggy Banks. What a match that was. Wasn't that interesting?
Very, very good match. And like we alluded to before we started, it's going to be very offensive. And he just really ran away with it in that, the 3rd game. Scott Frost did put some defense on him and came away with the big 5-0 win. But Piggy Banks comes away with a win.
And he dedicated that match to his poor father that just passed away and his son Nicholas, Henry and Nicholas. So he came up with a big performance, a big-time performance there.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, we'll be right back. We're going to try to get Mr. Piggy Banks up here for a short interview. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back. We have Glenn Rogers, Piggy Banks up here. Congratulations, sir.
I appreciate that.
Awesome, awesome match.
Another win against Scotty. You know, you practice hard each year. You wait for this time of year. You know, you do what you can do and bring it to your best. Scotty's a good player. You can make a lot of mistakes on him. So I did the best I can do, and I got the job done. The crowd liked it, and that's the most important thing.
Boy, what a match. I think every game was 5-0 as the score. If not, there was only 1 point scored for the opponent. And
I think that last game.
I believe it's the 3rd game that Scotty woke up a little bit. I think he had a couple of balls, and I think he won 1 game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he won 1 game. Right. And then after that, I just, turned the steam up a little higher,
When you have those long straight back banks, we were trying to assess the percentages, and we were saying, way over 50% when you have a pretty decent lie on it. What would you say would be an accurate percentage on something?
Actually, I'm hitting that straight back about 85%. Usually I'm 90% with that. So the ACCUSTATS, the diamond tables are hitting good this year, and when I see that straight back, it's just like a rifle with a scope, you see what you're looking at and hit that point.
I'll tell you what I respect about you the most, Glenn, is just in our casual meetings, the volume of professionalism that you bring to the sport. I mean, you treat this like a sport, and I really respect that with your attitude and your behavior. And it's a little bit uncharacteristic in the pool world to see that level of professionalism.
That's a wonderful statement. And what I'm trying to do here, each year I come, I try to gain about 4 or 5 more people to bring here to keep this thing even bigger. I got students back home that I teach at a couple of pool rooms. One of the pool rooms is called Seymour's on 82nd and Cottage Grove. And the other one is called Red Shoe Billiards. That's in Alsop, Illinois. John and all of us, we play every day. And then the rest of the guys at Seymour's, I practice with them, get their games going. Tell them about the Accu-Stats tapes, of course. Get you some tapes. Study the tapes, learn the 1-pocket game, and come and participate in the tournament. And each year, I got a crowd here. I got over 25 people that came in to follow me. So I want to do what I can to push the Accu-Stats people and the audience and so on.
That's assuming a leadership role as far as this sport's concerned, and I can totally respect that. We all need to do that. If each and every one of us brought 1 player to the tournament, you know how much better the tournament is every time? So I can certainly admire what you're doing.
That's a wonderful statement. The number surely would grow, so that's what I'm about each year.
Now, me as a beginning player, I'm wanting to know how you learned. When did you start? Just tell us all about the beginning.
Real good story. I was a youngster coming up. I believe around 14 years old. And I always liked the pool. I remember all the tough players like Eddie Taylor Buggs and so on, Willie Marstone, the Minnesota Fats. I just loved that crowd and excitement. I said I wanted to be like that one day. One day I was in a pool room on the west side called Road West. I wasn't old enough to play. A guy gave me the opportunity to hit some balls around. I was a shoe shine guy and had a good hand for shaving. So I picked some balls, I got a rack of balls and hit balls around. And I found out that I can shoot out. I shot out the first time I
So you had a lot of natural talent right off
So it came natural with me. My father's a great pool player. Unfortunately, we lost him a month and 2 weeks ago. And I did bring my son. That's my giant. He's usually my caddy. That's what they call him. So The pool thing is that I think if you put a lot of hours in pool, and it's one of the games that you love, if you put a lot of hours in that, you grow from that. That's one of the gentlemen that came here with me, Jim Bug.
Yeah, Mark.
One of my
was saying,
students.
Mark was saying that you dedicated this match to someone.
Right. My dad, he died a month and 2 weeks ago. We all got to go one day or another, you know, and I'm pretty much dedicating this match to him and my son. Nicholas, I bring with me every year. But so, unfortunately, his grades weren't right. I told him, you need to take this time out and get the grades right. So
Good for you.
He called and wished me luck.
I would like to mention the Last Call Development Center. Tell us a little bit about what Ron Cummings has going on there.
Ron Cummings is one of my pool students at 82nd and Cottage. He come through all the time. Just so happened I met him. He told me about the job he was doing in Harvey, helping the homeless, and he's got a church. So he's always pushing to help people, and I like that kind of person. So I put a little time in to go out there and help him with the church and all, and the homeless shelter. So Ron is the guy I just met. He got a place out in the Harvey. You know, he got a church and a homeless shelter. And I swear we'll come in here and just mention his name and try to push him. And whatever we can raise for the church, it'll be an honor to watch the church.
That's a terrific effort. And I'm going to tell you, you've won both of us over, as well as anybody that hears this. And I hope you win the whole thing. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you, and have a nice day.
You're a great interview.
Congratulations.
Nice interview.
Okay, from Louisville, Kentucky, here at the 6th Annual Derby City Classic, Mark Wilson, Derrick Keith, and Glenn Rogers signing off. See you soon.